When I think about Donald Trump's administration, words like corrupt and criminal often come to mind. But lately, the word that stands out most is embarrassing. It's exhausting watching how unprofessional and incompetent so many of these figures are. And few demonstrated that level of incompetence this week more than Patel. Not only did he reveal just how out of his depth he is, but he also accidentally shared an image that is now drawing major attention and raising serious questions about Trump's connections to the Epstein scandal. We'll break down exactly what happened, why it's so damaging for Patel, and what it could mean moving forward. But before we dive into all of that, if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It really helps support the channel. Now, let's start with the exchange Patel had earlier this week with Eric Swalwell, the moment that led to this image being released.
This Patel thing goes beyond anything I've ever seen before.
It was an embarrassment, frankly, Lawrence. And by the way, no FBI director has ever been confirmed with fewer votes than Patel. So he already came in with very little legitimacy. Nobody has had as little experience as Patel. So he came in with very little credentials and credibility. And so he had an opportunity to show the country that he's up for the job. And again, going into this hearing on, the heels of a Fox News report where they had 10 sources tell Fox News that he's about to be canned. And one source said that Pam, referring to the Attorney General, Pam can't stand him. Well, now you see why, because he is just an arrogant, incompetent director and doesn't make any of us safer when that's the chief, charge of what he's supposed to be doing.
Eric Swalwell was absolutely right. Patel is embarrassing. He's a joke, unqualified, incompetent, and not up to the job. And I'll keep repeating this because we cannot let history get rewritten. This is exactly why I don't buy into the sudden wave of sympathy and the so-called apology tours after the Charlie Kirk tragedy. If they truly cared about preventing something like that, the person leading the investigation wouldn't have been Patel. It would have been someone qualified, someone capable. Instead, Patel mishandled things so badly that the suspect's own father had to step in and alert authorities. That's not leadership. That's failure. So no, I'm not going to pretend there's real concern here. If there were, they'd put competent adults in charge. And Patel's exchange with Eric Swalwell made that clearer than ever, setting the stage for the leaked image that has now humiliated both Patel and Donald Trump.
Remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the Attorney's files. It's a simple question. Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files? During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is simple.
Who
did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes or no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No, A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F.
it sounds like you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your constituency by focusing on reducing violent crime in this country and the number of pedophiles that are illegally harbored in your sanctuary cities in California? I'll work with you on that.
Regular order, Mr. Chairman.
I
belong to the gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The question has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt.
Truly, one of the worst performances I have ever seen from one of Donald Trump's cabinet nominees. And the problem for Cash is that he is playing to an audience of one. Like, he just needs Donald Trump to be impressed with him. Like, you see this a lot from Pete Hegseth when he's in front of Congress. He tries to, like, puff the chest, and maybe, like, he holds off on the early morning G and T because he's usually through, like, 3 of those by 9:30, but he's doing a performance. Cash Patel is trying to perform, but it just doesn't work. This is the line I've been using so often with the Trump administration. This political theater with people who are not memorizing the script, like they don't know what they're saying. And clearly, Cash Patel needed a script because images were released of the notes he had during his Epstein hearing, and it's blowing it all up. Keystone Cash's bonker self-help notes captured on camera. A photo from the FBI director's contentious hearing reveals he wrote himself an encouraging note. Cash Patel made sure to pump himself up for Wednesday's contentious hearing with the House Judiciary Committee by writing himself motivational notes. A photo from Getty reveals. The photo reveals the FBI director praising himself for various clashes with lawmakers during the hearing, and that he also wrote himself reminders to do his best. The 4 lines read, "Good fight with Swalwell. Hold the line. Brush off their attacks and rise above next line of illegal attacks." The FBI director needed all the positive affirmation he could get after 2 days of hardened testimony before Congress. The day prior, Patel 45 decidedly did not brush off the attacks of opposing senators during his hearing with Senate Judiciary Committee. Patel engaged in shouting matches with Adam Schiff and Cory Booker as the Democratic senators grilled him on the FBI's bungled manhunt for Charlie Kirk shooter and accused him of being a pawn in an Epstein cover-up. This is the same party that tries to brand itself as tough and masculine. Yet here we have Cash Patel showing up at a UFC event, throwing hand signs, trying to look cool, and at the same time relying on self-help notes. Now let me be clear. I don't think positive affirmations are bad. In fact, I encourage them. Guys, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're doing a great job, because chances are you are. Unless, of course, you're Cash Patel. Because in that case, the reality is you're failing. And it's painfully obvious. This is supposed to be an FBI director. Let that sink in. A person in one of the most important security roles in the country is acting like this, and the whole world is watching. It's embarrassing. Instead of focusing on delivering justice for victims and being transparent with the public about serious issues like the Epstein files, Patel seems more focused on performing for his TV-obsessed boss. It's not just corruption. It's not just criminality. It's the sheer incompetence and lack of seriousness. And honestly, it's embarrassing. Not just for Patel, but for the entire administration. And I'm clearly not the only one who feels that way. Lawrence O'Donnell said it too.
In a written statement, the survivors said they were shocked by Kashyap Patel's testimony, claiming falsely that there is no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked children and teenage girls to other people. The survivors' statement said, "We are struggling to understand what this means. Even the limited information that has been made public includes accounts such as Virginia Giuffre's report that Epstein trafficked her to other individuals besides himself. We also understand, as Representative Thomas Massey pointed out during the House Oversight hearing, that there are FBI reports documenting witness interviews in which victims of Epstein and Maxwell named at least 20 other men they were trafficked to." Director Patel's testimony raises more questions than answers. For years, he has railed about the incompleteness of previous investigations. He is right about that. Previous investigations were indeed incomplete. So what is his plan to make sure that a thorough and unbiased investigation is conducted at last? He seems to acknowledge that the FBI FD 302 reports naming other men to whom Epstein, Maxwell victims were trafficked are real. So will he release those reports to the House Oversight Committee and to the public? He seems to imply that officials in previous administrations deemed those reports not to be credible. He has not read the reports himself. He has not spoken to the victims himself. And yet he plans to defer to unnamed officials from prior administrations who treated the reports as not credible. How can this be? Those previous administrations are the ones that Kash Patel spent years accusing of a cover-up. Now, he will pass the buck to them to decide that information about other men in the Epstein-Maxwell trafficking ring is not even worth following up on? There are victims and witnesses who, to this day, have still not been interviewed. Will they continue to be ignored? Survivors deserve better, and so does the public. We deserve answers to questions like these. Do the FBI and Justice Department have a plan to conduct a proper investigation at last? What is that plan? Will you release the FD 302 forms containing witness accounts of men to whom Epstein and Maxwell trafficked women and girls? Who were the officials in previous administrations who deemed the FD 302 reports not credible? Why are you deferring to that decision without reading the reports or interviewing the witnesses yourself? Given the number of times that survivors of Epstein-Maxwell abuse have been betrayed by the justice system, how will you ensure an unbiased and truth-seeking process that survivors can trust? Director Patel testified that the original sin of the Epstein case was the unconscionable non-prosecution deal that U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta gave Epstein and the limited investigation Acosta conducted. As head of the FBI, Director Patel can work now to remedy that in a way that finally centers survivor voices and finally pursues the whole truth. The public demands it, the victims deserve it, and our system of justice, without fear or favor, requires it. Survivors are waiting. Survivors are waiting.
I've said a lot already, but let me just add this one more point to what Lawrence mentioned. I'm embarrassed. And I think many of us want to live in a country where we're not constantly embarrassed by the people in power. Maybe that's not the most strategic political talking point, but it's real. I think we'd all love to feel a sense of pride instead of frustration. And honestly, that's my hope. I think I'm allowed to dream of something better. And if you want to dream with me, then we can keep pushing for it together, because I'm tired. I'm tired of this level of incompetence and chaos. If you want to support our work, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you made it this far, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.